Okay, let's open our Bibles to Revelation chapter 20. And let's just get a running start with verse 1. We covered some of this in our last study, but I'll read to where we are tonight. But Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. By the way, it's always been interesting to me that this angel and the incredible task that he is about to perform is not identified as one of, what I call one of the super angels like Michael or Gabriel. He's apparently just a regular angel, to show you that any angel under the authority of God has power over the devil. And it says he had a great chain in his hand. Well, to be honest with you, probably a spool of thread would have worked just as well. And it says in verse 2, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and he bound him 1,000 years. And he cast him into, and I mentioned in our previous study that the Greek word for 1,000 is the word milli, and num is where you get the word year from. So this is where we get the word millennium from. He bound him 1,000 years, and he cast him into the bottomless pit. Now, this bottomless pit is not the ultimate hell, okay? This is sort of like a holding cell, if you will. He cast him into the bottomless pit, and he shut him up, and he set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more until the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he will be loosed for a little season. We'll talk about that some tonight. So he's cast into this pit. And then in verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and they reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. Well, verse 4 is where we are, where we sort of pick up tonight. We were sort of in the middle of it when we concluded our last study. And we know that John in his vision now sees certain people reigning with Christ. And we're going to reign. We also know that we're going to be there because remember in chapter 19, all of the saints came with Jesus to the Battle of Armageddon. Remember when he appeared on his white horse. So the saints are there. All of the saved of the Old Testament and the New Testament. We all return with Christ. And so all of the saved, and then there are those who are part of what we call the tribulation saints. That's who he's referring to in verse 4, because there's some people here during the 7 years that do not, after the rapture of the church, there's some people that will not take the mark of the beast or follow the Antichrist, and they're going to die a horrible death. They're going to be, this passage describes a horrible death to those who do not take the mark of the beast. And so they're going to be saved. They're not going to, we call them tribulation saints. Now, I don't know who these tribulation saints are. I personally think it will be people that had not yet received or heard or had an opportunity to reject the gospel prior to the rapture of the church. But they will have an opportunity to either follow the beast or give their life to the Lord, and then they will give their life physically in a horrible death. But they'll be saved. So they're there. And then it says in verse 5, but the rest of the dead lived not again